Hey guys, let me know where you guys are at tonight. I have something very special for you guys. Can you take that out of my ear?
Yep, working on it.
Okay. All right, so Matt's working on that. I'm going to pull you guys up. Let me know where you guys are at. What are you guys struggling with? If you've got your first property yet, or if you're still looking to get your first property. I think that that's probably the hardest part, and that's one of the biggest things that we've been able to help people do is get past the fear of the unknown. Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
So once you get past the fear of the unknown and buy that first property, you get a lot more comfortable. But I think that you have to really be educated and know what you're doing. Then you become, less fearful. I'm not going to say that you're never afraid, because even me, if I'm going to buy something like right now, we got a $40 million property that we're looking at, and I'm past the fear because, but if I was going to buy something that I never did before, or we got a building we're building, I'd be lying to you if I said, hey, there's not a little bit of fear there. But I want to show you guys how you can scale. And we have somebody joining us a little later on, my brother Chris Long. He's in the academy. If you guys don't know what the academy is, when I first started this group, me and Matt, we started this because we love real estate. We love sharing real estate. We wanted to show people and be there as a resource for them. But when we kept getting all these messages that people wanted to learn about real estate and ask me, did I mentor? And I was like, man, I don't have time. Matt was like, hey, Nate, why don't you come out with an academy? And I was like, well, I don't even know what an academy is, man. He was like, well, that's the way you can reach a lot of people, and show them everything that you've learned in real estate. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. How are we going to do that, Matt? So Matt, being resilient, Matt is very resilient. He went out and he learned how to put an academy together. And so we put an academy together, and then Chris Long, I think he went from, what did he have? We're going to hear later. He had 1 or 2 properties. He's up to over 20 properties in the first year.
He'll tell us a little bit later.
Huh?
He'll tell us a little later.
Yeah, he's going to tell us later. He'll be on here at 8:30. But right now, here's what I want to talk to you about. How do you become a millionaire in 5 years in real estate? Well, first, it starts with understanding that you can do it, that there is nothing that you've been handed that takes away from you being able to do it. A lot of us say, well, I don't have any money. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to tell you this right now. For those of you who say, I don't have any money, it doesn't matter, because if somebody gave you money, you wouldn't know what to do with it. You have to get the education first. That's like somebody that wants to be a heart surgeon saying, hey, man, I can't be a heart surgeon. I don't have a scalpel. Like, bro, I give you a scalpel, you're going to kill somebody. Real estate's the same way. If somebody gives you money, you're going to kill it if you're not educated. And that's what we show people in the BRRRR Invest Academy, how the banking system works. But I'm gonna break down, everything, banking systems, how to operate properties, how to find off-market deals, how to wholesale to yourself. But, one of the main things that people miss out on is the area. They don't understand basic jobs and how those multipliers turn into millions of dollars for investors. So let me know where you guys are at tonight, and let me know what you guys are struggling with. Drop it below. I'm going to get to all the questions tonight that you got about real estate. I did a video earlier this year, and I showed you how a $200 rent increase, how we took a $200 rent increase and turned that into $3.6 million. That's the power of real estate, and I showed you exactly how it was done. So I want to get into doing this more, where I'm having you guys do the math instead of me. Because as long as I'm doing the math, I feel like you guys aren't learning. I feel like I could do better teaching you guys. So let me jump in here.
North Carolina, Texas, Cincinnati, Tennessee,
all over the place,
Alabama,
man.
New Orleans.
So let me jump in here real quick, guys, into
Dallas, Fort
the
Worth.
group. I like to look at the questions in a little bit. And then where am I at here? All right, there you go. All right. So, guys, what we're going to talk about tonight is, let me cut this off. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how to become a millionaire in 5 years and how you do that. So here's what you need to understand. The BRRRR method: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. What you're doing essentially is you're buying a property, you're adding value through renovating it. Then you're going to go rent it out. Then you're going to take that lease to the bank. You're going to refinance it. By doing the refinance, doing 75% loan, you should be able to get all of your money back. Now, if you're doing a good BRRRR, then you're able to get all of your money back plus money on top of that. Then you're taking that money and you're repeating the process over and over and over again. That's how I was able to go from one property in 2005 to over 250 units in 5 years. Now, I didn't do it right and I went bankrupt, which is what I'm going to keep you guys from doing. I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I made. So, why do the BRRRR method? Because you can scale quickly. So what I teach people how to do is to get from 0 properties, 2 properties the first year, 4 the second year, 6 the third, 8 the fourth, and 10 properties year 5. If you can do that, you got 30 properties and you are probably a multi-millionaire. But how are you going to get your first property? Because that's the hardest thing. And I would say that in, we got in the academy, Matt, what percentage of people that have been in there a year have got their first property? The people that are active.
The people that are active, probably
I say over
80, 90%.
80%, you think? Is that high?
If they're active, yeah.
Yeah, if they're active, I would say it is 80 or 90%.
Yeah, if they
There's
haven't,
very few people. And so what we do is we help you get over that fear because you understand what you're buying. You understand what risk looks like. But more importantly, I'm going to run through some numbers and I'm going to show you guys how you make your wealth. See, the fact of the matter is you don't get wealthy in real estate off the cash flow. Cash flow, may help you out a little bit, but let's say that you have a $100,000 property. We're going to look at cash flow. Let's say that property is making an 8% return. That 8%, let's say 8% of $100,000 is $8,000 a year. That's after you pay the taxes, insurance, water, sewage, trash, landscaping, maintenance. Now, I know what you're saying. You don't pay those, but you do when they go vacant. You got to pay for your turnovers. You calculate all your expenses that this property have. Then you calculate the income that's coming in. That is how much money you got left. Let's say it's an 8% return. So let's say you go borrow the money from the bank at 5%. Well, you're going to have principal reduction in there. So that 5% is going to look more like 6.5%. You're going to make it a 1.5 point spread off $100,000. That's $1,500 a year, which isn't a lot, but you also got principal reduction of another $1,500. So you got $1,500 in principal reduction, meaning the amount that you own a property this year versus next year went down. You got cash flow coming in. Let's say it's $100, $200 a month. But more importantly, that property went up 5% a year. 5% of $100,000 is $5,000. You get to keep all of that. That's yours. Plus, you got hidden tax incentives. You do this over and over and over again. But I'm going to show you guys how this starts to compound. So essentially what you just did right there, you got a 5% return on $100,000. Let's say the bank needed you to put 80% of that down, right? That means you're only putting $20,000 down. The bank's putting $80,000 down. So you're taking your $20,000 that you put down and you're looking at the cash flow that you got coming in. You borrowed $80,000 from the bank at, let's say, 5%, but that 5% looks like a 6.5. So that's 80,000 times 6.5. Can somebody do the math for me? What is an $80,000 mortgage at 6.5%? That's 80,000 times 0.065. Can you guys help me out with that? Can anybody help me out with that math problem? I want you guys to learn how to do this math because this is where the money is made at and understanding the math. I'm not going to do it. I know Tish B in here. Oh, she's going to do it. Yeah, Tish going to do it. She did it the other day. Christine, Todd Harvey. Guys, and if anybody, okay, Christine, how you doing, Christine? Cash flow just has to cover the mortgage and escrows. Appreciation is where the money's at. You're absolutely right. Upstate New York. Guys, if anybody is interested in the academy, just say interested. We will have one of our success team members reach out to you guys. We got Orlando, Florida. We got people from all over the place. Has anybody got this math problem yet? Okay, Tish B and Chris Long both got it. $5,200. So that property is bringing in $8,000 a year, right? You have how much in cash flow? If you got $8,000 coming in minus $5,200, let's say you got a 5% interest rate. Is that fair? In this market, you guys can get a 5% interest rate? Do we got any questions over there from TikTok? YouTube, TikTok? All right, we'll get to them in a minute, guys. Can somebody help me out with this? You guys got it? I don't have a big old awesome calculator like you. Hey, Christine, I know, man, you guys like that calculator I got. But look, I want to let you guys start doing the calculator. So I'm going to move away from doing it as much. Let you guys do it a little bit more for me. So I'm going to grab me something to drink. Anybody got the answer yet? Okay, you got $2,800. So you got $2,800 in cash, but you also have your principal reduction. Your principal reduction is going to be about 1.5% of 80,000, which we could do that in our head. That's going to be because you're borrowing the money at 5%, right? Then you got what's called the indicative rate, looks like a 6.5. So on paper, it looks like a 6.5 because you got principal reduction. So we know 1.5% of that $80,000 a year is principal reduction, which is going to be another $1,200. So you got $1,200 and how much? Add them two together. Matt, it was $2,800 plus $1,200, right? Okay, how much is that? Do it, man. Do it in your head, man. It's 4,000. You sure, Matt? All right. Plus you got 5,000 in appreciation. 5,000 plus 4,000 is what? 9,000 divided by your 20,000 you put in is how much? Guys, that is how you figure a return. So we're going to see what kind of return this is, man. Huh? So you had $2,800 in cash flow, $1,200 in principal reduction, right? And then you had 5,000 in appreciation. Okay? So what did you make the most money doing? The cash flow was $2,800. You're going to spend that. And if you're not going to spend it, your wife is, or your husband, or your kids. Someone's going to spend that money. You ain't going to keep that money. So that's $2,800 you get, right? Cash flow. You get $1,200 in principal reduction, meaning that you don't owe $80,000 year two. You owe $78,800, right? So that's equity. That's money that you've really earned. Your net worth is going up. But the property went up in value from $100,000 to $105,000. So where did you make the most money at? Appreciation. So how much did you make total? 9,000 divided by your 20,000. Oh my goodness, somebody got it right. 45% return. That is how you get wealthy, my friends. Now, when you're doing the BRRRR method, you're doing even better than that. Do you want to know why? Because doing the BRRRR method, you're doing better than a 45% return. But if we could get an insane 45% return and compound this over 30 years, and we started with $100,000, do you know that that would be over $500 million in 30 years? You guys don't believe me? Take $100,000 times 1.45, and we're going to ask Chris Long about this. Chris Long, compound that to the power of 30. What does that equal? I don't even want to know. It might be $1 billion, man. The problem is it gets harder as you get more money to get those type of returns. But starting off early, you can do it because because you are the GC, because you are the designer, because you're running all these different. Chris Long, what you got for us, man? You got that yet, brother? Okay, he said repeat those numbers. See, Chris Long ain't listening, man. Oh, Tico, hey, man. Hey, Tico. Come on, Tico. I want you to help out. Christine, can somebody, Tish, does she got it? They said my microphone seems off, Matt. Can you guys hear the microphone now?
Can you hear him now?
Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can't hear me clear. So
yeah, it's coming through good on my side.
Okay, it's coming through. You can hear it good. Okay, so we got $9,000. Okay, so you got 9,000. You divide that by your 20,000. That came up with a 45% return. We're going to take that $100,000 and we're going to times that by 1.45, which is a 45% return. Then we're going to turn our calculator sideways. If you got an iPhone, you're going to go to the second row from the top, the fourth row over, the X to the Y. That's the power of. Hit the power of 30. It's going to come out with a crazy number, man. It may be $1 billion. It really may be. But this is how you get wealthy. It's understanding the math. And this is what I want to teach all you guys, man. For those of you guys coming to the conference, we're going to have an amazing time, man. Matt's brother's supposed to be cooking, but he ain't got back to me yet. Is he cooking?
Yeah, he's cooking.
Okay, I need to get with him on the menu, man.
Yeah, he's cooking. He's got the whole time blocked off.
All right, awesome, brother. So let's go through there. Anybody got an answer yet?
145,000?
No, that's for 1 year. You got to do it to the power of 30 years. Right?
So times 30?
Huh?
That'd be times 30 or to the power of 30?
It's not a 45% return on 100,000. It's a 40. You're getting 45% on your $20,000, right?
20, yeah.
But since you own the whole
1.48
100,000, you're getting a leverage return. But let's say you could get 100. Let's say you had 100,000. Dave Ramsey tells you to buy one property.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get wealthy doing that.
1.48 billion?
Yeah, 1.48 billion. That's right. Stupid, crazy, but now how can you execute that on paper? Let's say we miss that target and only make 200 million. Well, that's okay in the grand scheme of things. So guys, that is how you become wealthy in real estate. So anybody that really wants to know how to dig into doing that, I want to show you guys. I want to jump into one other thing too, which is going to take me on where kind of Chris is at. I'm going to show you guys how a $200 rent increase can make you $3.6 million. I did this the other day, some of you guys, but I want to pound this in your head over and over and over again. This is where the wealth is created. And so for my Academy members, once you get your 30 properties, man, I'm going to come out with something to show you. I'm going to come out with another program, commercial program. I want you guys to learn how to scale and do this stuff. It's going to be intense, but I got to have you get a solid foundation and a solid base right now. And that's what I'm focused on, growing the Academy, the BRRRR Invest Academy. So let's say that you had a $200 rent increase. When you're doing residential, you can't really convert that to money. They just say, well, go comp it off the house down the street. I'm going to show you how we made even more than $3.6 million on properties, because we got some rents that we've been able to push $800-900 a unit. So let's say that you buy a unit and you got a landlord. We find them all the time. Guy's owned it for 30 years. He's ready to retire. He just wants to sell it. He hasn't raised his rent in, 10 years because he just doesn't care. The guy's retired. This is called low-hanging fruit. We come in there, we clean it up a little bit, and we clean up the outside, new landscaping, new sign, repave the outside, do the common areas, clean up the inside of the units. We're able to get a $200 rent increase. Now, to do that, you might have to spend $10,000 a unit. We're going to get into that later. I need you guys to run the math with me. And anybody that's interested in Academy, say interested. Is that what we're doing tonight, Matt? We're doing interested?
Yep, interested.
Say interested if you're interested in getting more information about the Academy and you want to ultimately the guide to becoming a millionaire in 5 years, step by step by step. Guys, in the Academy, we give you guys so much. We give you weekly coaching calls. It's 13 weeks long. And we also give you, a private support system that's amazing. You got people like Chris Long that are in there all the time, Tico, and, man, so many people I can't even name. So here, guys, here's the math. I want you guys to do it. Tish B, I know you're going to do it because you already did this the other day when I was on there. $200 a month times 100 units. How much is that? How much is that a month, guys? This is why commercial real estate is powerful.
You said 100 times 100 units?
$200 a month times 100 units. Guys, this is how you become wealthy, man. I'm going to show you how you turn $200 rent increase into $3.6 million. How much is that, guys? Can somebody help me out with that? Anybody interested in becoming wealthy, man, look, I own over 250 million in real estate right now. And me and my partner, Mike, man, we're getting ready to scale. We are really getting ready to scale. We're just putting everything in place. But, so many Academy members are getting their first property, overcoming the fear because they understand the system. So if you guys are interested in getting in there, man, say interested. Monique Bryan, Michelle Marion, Dennis Earls, Tish B, Robert P. Titus, Chris Long, they all got it right. $20,000. Now, times that by 12 months. How much money you got? Carla Cross. Okay. Lalantha Lalintha. Man, I ain't about to mess your name up. Well, what to say? Lee. Oh, we got my brother Antonio Martin here, man. All right, that's $240,000, guys. Now, out of that, you got to think. When you raise your rent, your expenses don't go up. And Chris Long, I really need you to get this. And Antonio Martin, all of you guys, I need you to get this. Daniel Smith said 2.4 million. Man, I want to work for him. Hey, you messed that math up. Sign that check, baby. Nah, it's your decimal points off. Christine, 240. I know she means 240,000. All right, Lie. There you go, Lie. All right, thank you, man. So your bills aren't going to go up just because you raise the rent. Your landscape guy's not going to say, Nate, man, I know you're charging more for the rent now. I got to cut the grass for these units that you're charging $200 more. I'm going to go up. No, he's not. It's not going to happen. So that $200 that you went up, 90% of that's going to be profit. You may have a few dollars that are associated. So you're going to take that 240,000 times 0.9. What do you guys got? 90%. Yep, 10. Tim, you already know it. You did this. In this market, that's a modest increase. Michelle, I'm gonna break down another building after this and tell you you are 100% right. But I'm going to tell you what we got and show you the math that we got out of this building and show you the net profit that we made off of it. It's insane. Chris Long, you got it. It's $216,000, okay? Now, guys, I need you to comprehend and understand this is what's happening when you're selling a commercial building. I come and I say, hey, I'm going to sell you this $216,000. I'm going to sell it at a 6% return to you. Take 216,000 times divided by 0.06. That's a 6% return. What is that, Matt? You get that? 216,000 divided by 0.06. That 0.06 is a 6% capitalization rate. That is what commercial properties trade at, let's say in most areas, and areas where you have population. If you go into a tertiary market, and it could trade in a good market at a 2 or 3%. But in a good market, they're going to trade, when I say good market, like a top 50 MSA. They're going to trade, which is where most of your population is. They're going to trade at a 6 cap for a C plus property. When you go into a B or an A, they're going to trade at a lower cap rate. And if it's a lower cap rate, the price is going to shoot up even higher. So what do you guys got?
3.6.
All right, 3.6 million. Now, guys, Vivek, I don't even know how you came up with 8.3 million. Michelle Marion, yes. Tish B got it right. Vivek got it crazy wrong. Danny, so just go back and check your math. Christine got it right. Robert got it right. Kelsey got it right. Antonio got it. So, guys, Justin Nunya got it right. Monique got it right. Chris Long got it right. Okay, so look, guys, why would somebody in their right mind pay me $3.6 million for $216,000? I'm really selling them $216,000 cash flow. See, all you're doing when you're buying commercial real estate is you're buying money. You're buying a property that produces money. You're buying a business. And through that business, I can come in and I can find opportunities to push revenue, which is increasing rent, charging pet deposits, putting laundry and dryers in the facility, carports, storage units, all that. For every dollar that I capture and bring down a net operating income, I'm going to sell that off at a $16 return. For every dollar, I get to sell it for $16. I thought when I first learned this, I thought it was a Ponzi scheme, guys. I ain't going to lie, man. But then I had to understand the math behind it, which you're about to understand right here, right now. The reason why somebody will pay you $3.6 million for $216,000 in cash flow is because they're going to go borrow that money from the bank. So let's say they go to the bank, and it's called a leverage return. It gets a little deeper than that. I don't want to get too deep into it right now because then it comes down to your cash-on-cash return, your internal rate of return. I don't want to overcomplicate it. But if you guys want to learn how real estate works and get to be able to operate at this level, you first must get your properties locked in, unless you got some type of crazy experience. And this is the level I'm teaching you to get to in the BRRRR Invest Academy. If you guys are interested in the Academy, say interested, and we will have somebody from the success team reach out to you guys, and you guys can hear other people's testimonials on how it's been able to help them push through. You're going to hear Chris Long here in a minute on how it was able to help him push through. And I hope that you guys stay tuned for that, because that's going to be great. So you're going to borrow the $3.6 million, take $3.6 million, times that by, let's just say right now, commercial rates, you can get about 5%. Times that by 0.05%. What is that, guys? Cecilia is interested. It's knowledge. That's right. So crazy wrong, not a simple math. No, that's all right, man. It's okay, brother. It's not a big deal, man. All right. So Bobby Lopez, what's up, brother? Ronald Sebastian, I can't wait to see you guys, man. So Daniel Smith, sorry, cooking chicken legs and doing math in my head. Nah, hey, man, ain't no big deal, brother. So interested. So we got some people interested in the Academy. Anybody else interested? Just say, boom, $180,000. How are you going to pay that $180,000 to the bank? The property has $216,000 coming in. Okay. So now you bought this property, right? Now watch this, guys. I'm going to show you this. This is how wealth is created. You bought this property with $216,000 cash flow. You got to give the bank $180,000. You get to keep the rest. But it gets even better. I'm going to show you why the cash flow doesn't really matter. How much cash flow do you got coming in off of that, guys? Can somebody do the math? Tell me what your cash flow is a year. Guys, and if you're interested in learning from me, someone that owns several hundred million of real estate, you want to jump in the Academy, you ain't just learning from me. You're learning from Christine. You're learning from Justin Nunya, Okino, Tish B, Bobby Lopez. And I got to tell you, man, Bobby Lopez and Ronald Sebastian and Benjamin Coons, they are in South Florida. They just joined about 3 months ago. They are smashing it. They bought their first property since they joined the Academy, and they said for September they're looking for 20 properties to buy. Man, you guys are going to pass me up, man. That's okay, though, because I'm going to be there with you doing deals with you guys. So you got $36,000 in cash flow right there, guys. But wait, that's not the real goal. That's $3,000 a month in passive income I got coming in, right? For the rest of my life. Here's the real goal. Here's where the money's made. Next year, I'm going to do a marginal $50 per unit rent increase. Watch this. $50 a unit times 100 units. Let's do the math. Do the math, guys. What you got? Somebody help me out, man. Tico, he's in there. These are the people in there that are really helping grow, because I can give you guys the knowledge, but it's them coming in and sharing their success stories, man. And the private group that we got is so amazing. And I thank all of you guys that are sharing there daily. All right, Christine, that's $5,000, right? So everybody knows it's $5,000. Guess what you just did? Probably by doing that, you're going to have, now times that by 12. That's an extra $5,000 a month. Let's say that some of that's going to go towards increased expenses, but most of it's not. So let's say 5,000 times 12 months. How much is that, guys? $60,000 a year. Michelle, you own it. Let's say that you're able to capture 75% of that, because before you were just raising it, the expenses were already captured in the rent. But now you're going to lose some of that rent increase to expenses. Times that by 0.75. 75% of that you're going to be able to keep. Okay. Danny Earl's got it right. Tish B, Tim, Dusty Eaton is interested in the Academy. Anybody else interested in the Academy? Christine Christine's in the academy. And Christine, can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. Let's see. All right, guys. So here's what you got, man. Yes, Michelle Marin, the residents will be happy. Only $50 easy sale. You're right. So all you guys are right. $45,000. Where's this extra $45,000 go? Goes in our pocket, number one. So now on top of the $36,000 we had, now we got another $45,000. But that goes into net operating income. So take the $45,000, divide that by a 0.06. This is how much money you just increased the value of that property within 1 year. This is how you get wealthy in real estate. Once you understand this, guys, you can go make as much money as you want. Literally, you can go make as much money as you want. But the problem is for someone like me or someone who's made it is this. They understand that they're going to be giving away their time for money because buying this and getting it to that level, it takes time when you're renovating the buildings. Now, when you're buying Class A assets and you're getting a marginal return, you can scale quicker. But what we buy in BRRRR, there is a lot of work that goes into it. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it, and you have to realize that everything, there you go, guys. You made $750,000. See that? So once you own an asset, you can just do some small things to increase the rent. That is how you become super wealthy. But how do you get to that point? I'm going to tell you guys real quick, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to break it down. In the academy, here's what I teach you. And look, the numbers don't have to be, when you guys say, well, I can't get a property for that. I'm just using a base number. I'm giving you the concept. Every area is going to be different. But let's say that you're in the Midwest. You can buy a property for $80,000. Let's say 120, 160. You could double it. I don't care. Math is math. All you're doing is adding value. You buy it for $80,000. You put $40,000 into it. You renovate it. When you get done, and now you can go to the bank and get an asset-based loan. You have to put down 25% of the $120,000, which is $30,000. So I'm gonna need $30,000 to start. And I'll show you how to take this $30,000 and we call it lever up, 72x. Turn this $30,000 into a $2.1 million net worth in 5 years without killing yourself. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to buy that property for $80,000. You're going to put $40,000 in it. When you get done, it's worth $160,000. Now, you're going to go back to the bank. You're going to get an 80% loan, which is $128,000. So you got $128,000 out. You pay off your $90,000 original that you owed. You got $38,000 left. You got your $30,000 back plus $8,000 minus a couple thousand closing costs. So you got $6,000 to the good. You do this over and over and over again. You do 2 the first year, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. That's 30 properties over 5 years. So that's $180,000 that you got. You don't have to pay taxes on that. That's cash out. Then let's say you had $200 a month in positive cash flow. $200 a month times 60 months, that's $12,000 on the first property and the second property. It staggers out. It equals about maybe $360,000, but that's going to be tiered. Let's say half of that, $180,000. Plus you got your $180,000 cash out. That's $360,000. But the most important part is this property that you bought for $160,000. If you can identify areas that are going to go up 5% a year in value, that $160,000 times here. Can you guys do the math for me? Can somebody do the math for me on this? $160,000 times 1.05. Can somebody do the math? Okay, Tim said, we're going to jump into Tim. What Tim said, the BRRRR Academy process worked, finished week 12 of training and waiting on 2 HELOCs will give me over $500,000 in the bank to scale up. That's awesome, Tim. What did you learn in the academy, Tim? Okay, there you go, Monique. That's what it's worth year 1. Now take this $168,000 times 1.05. Let's see what this property is worth year 2. I want to show you year by year how you create wealth. But that's how you create wealth. But how do you identify those areas? That's what we go over in the academy. So if you guys are interested in learning the process, the systems Just say interested. We'll have somebody from our team reach out to you. All right. Yep. As soon as we get this done, we're going to switch over to Chris Long. Yep. What time is it? 37. Huh? 37. It's 8:37? Yeah. Dang. I didn't realize we took that long.
We might have to pause our Facebook Live video. Our audio isn't connected. But YouTube and everything's good.
So this audio is not working here?
You can hear us. It's just coming through the camera.
Oh.
So I don't know if Chris will pick up, so we'll cut and then go back live on Chris.
Okay, 176,400. Do it again. 176,400 times a 1.05. What you got? This is year 3, right? Michelle Marion says she can hear. I can hear. She can either hear or do lip syncing because she's been getting a boom. Look at that property. It went from 160,000 to 185, 220 times 1.05. Let's look and see what that property is going to be worth year 4. Good job, Robert. Guys, this is how you get wealthy here, man. This is it. This is the process right here. What's it worth year 4? 185,220 times a 1.05. See, you're compounding. Every year, you're getting a 5% return, not on a 160, right? But you have no money in this deal. You're creating wealth out of nowhere. 194,481. One more time, guys. 194,481 times 1.05. Let's not forget still, Gibson said, when the monthly rent increase is sold as a management, that's right. That's why we times that by 0.75 and not by 100%, because your expenses will go up marginally. So, okay, so what is the final tally? What is this property worth? $204,000. But how much do you owe on it? You borrow 128. Year 5, you're going to owe about 115. So take 204,000 minus $115,000, guys. That's how you become wealthy. That's $89,000 plus your cash flow of $12,000. That's it. That property made you over $100,000 because you understood the math behind it, right? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Danny. And a nickel. Gotta have that nickel, baby. So there you go, guys. That's how wealth is created. So if you want to know how to do that, step by step by step, we have a program, the BRRRR Invest Academy. If you're interested, say interested. Without further ado, I'm gonna bring on my brother Chris, who did not my real brother, but my brother in Christ and my brother in the BRRRR Invest Academy, who joined last year. And I want you guys to kind of hear his story, what he's thinking about, and where he's been able to scale through. Chris Long, where you at, Chris? What's up, Chris? How you doing today, brother? No, I can't hear him. All right. I can hear him, brother, but I can hear myself as well. Chris? I can't hear him. Chris, talk. He's talking. I can't hear him. Chris, I can't hear you, buddy. Matt, can you unmute me? Oh, look at that. Tico. Chris, we can't hear you, buddy. It said guest has muted itself. Christine said he's muted. There you go. All right, whose fault was it?
I'll take it. I'll take the blame. I don't care.
Hey, man, how you been, brother?
Doing well.
Man, that is awesome, man. Can you guys hear? What up, Davey? How you doing, brother? Yeah, can you guys hear Chris?
Testing. I think they should be able to now. The microphone's moving.
Yeah, they can't hear you right now. He's
What's
live
up,
in
Joe?
my ear. Okay, Antonio said he could. Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you do? Close it out?
Is it any better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can, but I don't know if they can. Mike, check.
Testing, testing. Are they chiming in?
No, I don't even think we're live again on Facebook.
Oh,
I don't see it popping up. Hey, man, but how you been, Chris?
I was telling Matt I've been on my sign work last couple of weeks, but it's been a really good couple of weeks for that. Working on getting a couple refis going. That's what I've been focusing on.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're in there, brother. So you've been working on getting what together?
A couple
Your sign?
refis.
Huh?
I've been working on some sign business. I'm trying to get out of my walk away from my W-2 or whatever it is,
Yep.
and go to real estate full time. But
So what's
I
holding you
gave them that I
back,
don't want
man?
to do it. I gave them that I don't want to do it, price, and they keep coming to me.
You keep on upping the price and they keep coming back.
They come back with more. Yeah,
Yeah, that happens,
I'm
man.
gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
Yep. So I think we are? Okay. You can see it. Can you hear Chris?
Hey Matt, can you hear me?
Keep on talking.
It shows 7 people are watching on this Ecamm live. I don't see it going live on natebarger.com. It says was live.
Yeah. It's froze. Yeah, I think it's Oh, there it goes. I see it. It's saying Nate Barger, but what about the BRRRR group? No, it says live video interrupted. The podcast is paused. So, huh? Uh-uh. So, Chris, man, I just talked to Chris. You see if you can figure that out. If not, I get some time to talk to Chris anyways. We can bring you back another time. Oh, we are live on YouTube? Okay. All right, Chris. So, look, man, what have you done over the past year since you've joined the academy, and what have you learned?
I've learned a lot. I was running some numbers. I know that you're a numbers person, so I've prepared some for you. When I started the academy, I've got a partner in one company. I own some by myself, and then we own some together.
Mm-hmm.
We were currently sitting about 12 units. We bought and sold a few things, but we were sitting about 12. Since starting the academy, we've closed on and now own 24 units. That ad was a pickup of a 9-unit ad, which I wanted to do anyways, but the clarification that you gave me, understanding that math that we just went through, right? I mean, it just really solidified that we made the right decision on that. It's in a C area. It's best, but it's something that we could afford and get our feet wet with multifamily. We had to try. We had a 5-unit that we sold before. We only owned it for a year, but it was in a smaller town. We made money on it, and then we also have and some and whatnot. But I never really got to the 9. So in doing that in the value add, it had some problem tenants in it, and they're like, "Well, we've got a vacancy." Do you want us to fill it? And they just filled one at $415 a month. We're like, pump the brakes, no,
Mm-hmm.
we're good. So we bought it with a vacancy on it, and that was going to be our first one that we were going to turn. When we bought it, the rents coming in on those 9 units combined were $3,600, and we're up to $7,100 a month now.
Wow. So now,
and we've got room to go.
We talk about the 1% rule, but here's something I want to clarify for you guys. If your rents aren't at least $1,000, you can't really run the. Here, I'm going to show you why. You can't really run the 1% rule. But what do you think that property's worth? Fixed up, renovated with $7,000 rents.
Depends on what cap rate we're going to go at. Since it's in a C area and I'm in a small, go a 7.5, 8 cap.
Yep, 7.5, 8. Yep.
Okay, so
it's probably worth 450 to 550, right?
Our expenses were 26,000. We're doing 7,100 times 12 is 85,200 minus 26,000 is 59,200. And if you want to multiply it times 0.75, if your expenses were going up, that's 44,000 divided by 0.075.
Say that again. Your expenses 75%.
Well, that's what you said earlier, that you wanted to go. You multiply your income by 75% since your expenses were going to go up some.
No, that's on the increase part. That's like if you get a $50 rent increase, right? Your base. You said it costs $29,000 to operate that, right?
26, yes.
26,000 divided by 9 units.
Yep.
That's really low. So
that was our expenses coming into it when we bought it.
That was your expenses coming into it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, when you say your expenses coming into it, that's somebody else, what they say they were running it for?
Yeah, that was, insurance, taxes, property maintenance fees, repairs and maintenance is minimal, probably because it's they probably didn't give us the right information because they clearly weren't running it properly.
Now, what did you pay for that?
With it was $380.
$380, and then how much you got to put into it?
We're doing $10,000-$12,000 a unit on the 2 beds. We haven't figured out. We've just been bumping the rents on the 1 beds. We haven't put any minimal, just minimal stuff into it.
And then what kind of rents do you think ultimately you can get that to?
The 2 beds we're renting at $500 to $600 a month, and we're at $1,025 now on the Renode.
If it's 1 bedrooms, you're getting $1,025.
2 bedroom, 2 bed.
Okay, 2 bedrooms. So that means you can get $800 for the ones.
We're $715. We got $715, $725 on it, and then we're at $595 on some of the others. They're not Renode.
Do you have any rubs that you can get?
We could add water, but we haven't added that yet.
Yeah. It's a progress when you're doing these value add things. It's not.
I guess we could do water and trash. I guess we could do water and trash. One of the first things that I did that I learned from you, was kind of take those. How can I reduce my expenses? So I was looking at the trash and what they were doing, and they were paying, I don't know, $130, $150 a month, and we've reduced that drastically. So if I made $50 a month,
is this the unit you said that you just have your tenants throw the trash in the dumpster next door? Is that how?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding,
it's
brother.
funny you say that because all the neighbors do that to us. So
yeah. So how do you keep them from doing that?
It goes in spurts, but it's all right now. They said we can put a lock on it and they can give the tenants a key to unlock the dumpster, but we haven't had to go that
or you
route.
can do a camera out there, or you can put a sign out there that you got a camera. But I mean, we've had tons of dumping problems and we've had to fix them multiple different ways, but ultimately, I mean, that's just part of managing, brother.
We've got a tenant that called, says if it's getting bad, then I just call the trash company and they try and get there, do an extra pickup that week.
Yep.
Something
So you've been able to scale from, you said 12 units to 24 units?
Yes, sir.
And how long did
So
that take you?
That was a 9 unit uh, my last close was in May. So we did 11 in October or November, and then another, my wholesale deal that I self-sourced was in May of this year.
So what did the Academy help you with? I mean, I know there's a lot of information in there, but if you could tell people that are struggling to get in, that are worried about, a lot of people, this is a lot of money to them, right? A couple $1,000s is a lot of money to people. But
I get that.
ultimately, you are learning something that can make you multiple millions, right? What would you
100%.
what would you tell somebody who is struggling to get their first property? What did you learn in the academy that helped you have the ability, the confidence to go out and scale and grow?
Well, so the first thing that I do is, I used to listen to a lot of Bigger Pockets and everything like that. Everybody listened to podcasts, everything like that. And then somehow I came across Nate. I don't know how he got on my Facebook, but somehow he came across that. Maybe I was searching BRRRR, or I bought the BRRRR book from Brandon Turner or whatever it was. And I just started following Nate. And this was before the Academy was even out. And he just dropped so much free content that it just blew me away. And I always wondered, how does these people always talk about not paying taxes, not paying taxes? And one day, I don't know, I came across a YouTube video that Nate did with Yona Weiss, talking
Yep.
about cost segregation, and it clicked. At
Mm-hmm.
that point, my mindset shifted, and now I know how to tackle something, and how the wealthy get ahead. That's one way. So I was determined, whatever you put out, I wanted to be a part of, and I didn't care what the price. So I was already justified when that came out.
Yeah,
And
because
then
that
a
one
few months
thing,
later,
that one thing right there will go on to save you millions of
it was
dollars
priceless
throughout your
to me.
life.
It was
Yeah.
priceless to me.
Yep.
That one. So I just picked up one nugget on that video, but I picked up 50 other nuggets along the way of shortcuts. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's telling us what he did and what he's doing. He walks the walk. He does, he's got Jirius on here. Jirius goes live. You've got Devo. You don't get this anywhere. The community in here is amazing. I've been on the phone with Tico, Jeff Murdoff, Howard a couple weeks ago. It's just, I mean, we're on Zooms with them, and you can kind of chit chat or whatever. But I mean, we're just bouncing stuff off each other, and hey, what do you think of this? Or just cutting up. It's fun. I love it. I talk to
Nah,
them
man,
more than
you
I talk to
guys
my.
are you Indiana guys are crushing it, man. And I think what's different is we didn't want to put you guys in a funnel so we could sell you something else, right? What we wanted to do was create a network of people where we don't have nothing else to sell you. We're gonna upload more videos. We're gonna do that for free. We're gonna hold get-togethers. We're gonna pay for that. We're gonna find a way. If I gotta pay for that out of my own pocket, but ultimately, man, we just want to see you guys succeed, because success for you guys is where I get joy from. I don't get joy from making money. I don't this the money I make on this pays payroll. We're scaling, and we want to have people all over the country, which we already do. But ultimately, I want to do deals with all of my top people in every city. And you're one of them. Tico, I mean, we got, man, people all over the place, man. It's amazing because we have a much bigger vision, and I'll share that with you guys a little bit later.
And you hit on some things there. I've taken other courses. I mean, I've taken a fair amount of courses, and there's always, but wait, there's more, right?
Yep.
Or hey, would you like this module? 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever, and everybody, you want it because we're all in growth mode. And that's not the case with this academy. I mean, it's ever changing, it's ever growing. There's, I think, 1,100 plus people. I don't know the exact count, but I mean, every person that comes in, they contribute more than, it's better to have them than to not have them.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have a skill set where they can help, where they might have connection. And it's a community. It's nothing like BRRRR, like you've said 100 times, is great, but inside the academy is amazing.
It is, man.
And I
Like
think life
this
changing.
weekend, Tico put out a sheet. He said, "Hey, man, here goes a sheet that I'm going to start using," and he posted it for everybody. And that's great, man. Like everybody adding in their own stuff and seeing you guys crush it. That's what really delights me and gives me joy in life. So what's next for you, Chris? What can we help you with, brother?
I've been studying owner financing is what I've been doing. It's kind of a little bit different, but I talked to you before when I was in Cincinnati last. I thought like subject to is going to be a hot ticket coming in. And some of those deals come up where you can buy properties at the lower interest than what we can currently finance things out for. It's going to help people in the recession coming up, whether it's a foreclosure or whatever you may be going after. That's what I've kind of been educating myself on. I've also been working on a couple refis and just stabilizing a couple properties to get some cash out because I put too much of our own money into the deals. I've learned that.
Yep.
I can also speak from experience on buying in the right areas. We had a house in 2019. We could have listed it at 115,000. It's worth 115,000 today. Wrong area. You know, I've got another house in 2019 that we bought.
Now, let me ask you this. If you would have gotten the academy, would you have bought that area?
Well, we ended up buying that house at 55,000. I put a roof on it for 10. So we're in it for 65 and it's worth 115. So I probably still would have bought it. We might dump it at some point in time, but there was another house in that $107,000 range that we bought, 5 miles out in a different zip code, but it's worth 185 now. So literally he talks about, but he tells us how to identify that, in the job. Just so there's zip codes now that I won't buy in my area, and we can apply that anywhere.
Point. That's a good point, Chris, that maybe I still would have bought it, but I'm not going to hold it. It's not a buy and hold, it's a buy and flip. Because if all it's going to do is go to this value, I don't want to waste my time managing it and hanging on to it. But how do you identify those areas? Week 5, we got Howard put together an amazing spreadsheet that breaks it down. I don't know if we got a picture of that, man, but that spreadsheet is amazing. Those are tools that we gave you guys in the academy, but ultimately Howard went in and he put the spreadsheet together. Can you put that up on the screen, Matt? And that right there is, man, once you learn how to underwrite like that, and I knew Howard had it like when we did the meetup, and
when we at the Reds game, and he pulled out this folder. And
I said, what the hell is this, man? And I start looking at it, I was like, dude, this is how we underwrite commercial deals. And like I realized that I was teaching you guys that stuff week by week, but I never put together a sheet that was that amazing. And so I said, man, Howard, would you mind sharing that? And he was like, certainly, or whatever. Yeah, I'm just kidding, Howard. That's my English brother, man. So when he comes in town, he gets to drive the Bentley. That's what he likes, man. But look at this sheet.
Mr. Bodger.
Huh?
Where to, Mr. Bodger?
Yeah, where to? Hey, he gonna be like, I'm getting in the back. You driving me, bro? Yeah. So I remember when I first got a Bentley, I bought it for my wife for our anniversary, and all I wanted to do was ride in the back, and because the seats recline. They wouldn't do it. They're like, no, you drive. I was like, I just want to sit in the back. But eventually I got somebody to drive me. I think it was Matt. Nah, this was before I even met Matt. Yeah, but.
Ready to see us?
Yeah, hey, so show us that. Is that it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. No, that's not it.
It is it.
That's not it, brother.
This is it.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
So go through. What's the first line show you?
All right. Want me to show it on screen?
Yeah. Is this on? Are we back on Facebook?
No, we're not on Facebook. Can't get the audio to go through.
Okay.
They keep denying the audio for some reason.
Okay.
All right. So first line, we got the zip code, which you're looking at. Then you get the 12-month appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the 5-year appreciation, the 10-year appreciation, the median home cost, how much it costs to rent a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, the average age of a home, housing owned, housing vacant, housing rented, population that's now, population from 2010, population 2010 to now percentage, 2000 to now percentage, and that's it. But it shows you everything.
Yeah, so I think we got one that's a little more detailed than that one.
That's it.
Okay, can you confirm? Chris would probably know. Chris? Yes, I think we got one that's
I'm trying to look. Hold on a second. I just pulled up. I didn't see anything on Facebook, so I've just been watching our screen on this eCam. But it's showing Howard's appreciation sheet. He's got all those zip codes.
Yep.
That's what I saw recently when I went into week 5, I believe it was, for Howard.
Yeah, so when you start to learn how to buy like that, man, you get, the wealth just accumulates and that's it, man. That's where you get wealthy at, brother. So
the appreciation. So I will confirm, so it's in the appreciation. I realized that because, we had another $107,000 property we bought in the same year. It's now worth $185.
Mm-hmm.
And my rent there is $1,400 a month versus $1,050 or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that once the property appreciates, the amount that it rents for also goes up. And your expenses may go up a little bit, but not, the only thing that's really going up is taxes. It still costs the same to paint a 1,500 square foot house, whether it's worth 170, 180,000 or 90,000. That doesn't really matter. Same with the roof, same with the mechanical, same with everything. And that's why I never understood why people build in bad areas. Like the electrician doesn't care. He's going to charge you the same amount. So we got some.
I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what you teach us is it applies. You take what you do in multifamily and you break it down to single family, and that's how you get your feet wet.
Yeah.
So in your first 30, I can almost guarantee you that they will not all be single family homes. I think that you'll start to sprinkle multifamily in there, whether it's a duplex, a triplex, maybe a fourplex. But when you hear this cap rate, what he talks about, it doesn't really apply, and you can confirm this, until you get 5 units or more.
That's right.
And that's going to go on your NOI and then the cap rate. So that's what I like is 5 and up. Maybe our next play might be a 12 or 15 or 20 unit. I don't know what we'll be able to find, but that's what I'd like and get a real good value add, refi out of that, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
Until I learn syndication. Maybe I'll learn some syndication stuff at the BRRRR conference. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
I've got some questions when we get to that, but I mean that's another time.
Now there will be some great stuff there, man, because you're gonna learn. And guys, he's exactly right. So when I started growing, like all these systems and processes we had to learn, but when I went out and started doing multifamily, and I was like, why don't we apply this to single family homes? If you apply this to single family homes, man, you're going to be a beast because you're going to make money so much easier. The decisions that you're making are based off of math instead of emotion. So most of the people that are buying single family homes, buying off of emotion, well, I like that street, I know that street, or I know this area. Like, look, man, none of that really matters. When your kids go to college, or when your kids get married, or when your kids go buy a house, the bank doesn't say, or the wedding caterer doesn't say, oh, you really like that area. They say, hey, it's going to be $20,000, right? And so the math behind where you're buying at is ultimately going to help you with those things in life. So, Chris, I'm sorry we had problems getting back on Facebook, man. I'd really love to get back on you. Maybe we could do something. Do Zoom next time. You think the Zoom would be better? We'll just do it on Facebook. Facebook has an app where they do that. Yeah, we could just do it. Was
it my technical difficulties or Matt's?
No, I think it was our software that we're using. Yeah, so we use this eCam.
Adding it in. Like you should call me on Facebook and say, hey, join in the call or something like that, right?
Yeah, just do it on Facebook. That would be a lot easier. Yeah. So can we do that maybe, I don't know, later on this week? Maybe we could set something for Thursday, because I don't really feel like we got to get your story out there, brother.
That's all right.
Is that So Thursday,
Yeah.
we on?
Thursday at what time?
Maybe same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time.
8 p.m. I will double check and I'll send you a message.
You double check, man. I only need a half an hour from you, 45 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And I appreciate your time, brother. I really do. And I can't wait to see you next. What do you need from me at the academy, man? You tell me what you need.
I'm gonna learn. Have you read that book that I left?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I said the academy. I meant the conference. Have I read the book?
I'm just ready to learn, man. Yeah.
Brother,
did you read that book?
Brother, I know more about the infinite banking system than that book does now.
I know, but it talks about the trust incorporates the infinite banking. That's the kind of the concept of it. And you kind of got to wrote it to dumb it down to people like you are super educated, right? But to
I went to a great school, a great prison. The prison I went to, man, they had a great. The classes were amazing.
You're smart.
I'm anal about understanding, right? And one of the things, Chris, is that when I hear people all the time, they say, "Well, I can't become wealthy. I can't do this because I don't have money." I say, "Hey, well, listen. If I give you $25,000, $30,000, what would you do with it, right?" The truth of the matter is people don't know. So you got to get educated, man. If you guys are interested, you guys watching on YouTube, where else? On Nate BRRRR. You know, a lot of you guys know me. I got an academy. I mean, I don't even, a lot of people outside of the BRRRR Invest group don't even know that.
And
but
people inside the academy, like when you're getting that drip, that weekly drip, or even if you're not in the academy, want more, go to his YouTube. That's what I did. Go to YouTube, Google Nate BRRRR, and he's got hundreds of videos. I don't know the exact count, but I mean, there is hours and hours and hours of content. If you wanted to fill your time, you will pick up gold nugget after gold nugget. And literally, like I said before, that's what I did, and that's when with the academy. I was already justified the cost regardless of what it was. There's been zero upsells. Well, there was one. It was for the wholesaling when they came out, but that's already now included in it. But I mean, it was minimal. And again, the price of admission was and you don't even get anything for the cost of what it costs to get into that. So,
yep. And that wasn't that wasn't me upselling. That was just a friend of mine that I felt
right.
like had
hey, I've got this. And
yep.
So many people were looking to source some deals or whatever, and you're like, hey, I've got the information. Jerry's did that. He's done over 1,000, I think it is, wasn't it? Wholesale deals.
Yeah,
and
Jerry's has done a ton of wholesale deals. Well, let me know if Thursday. Let me know if Thursday works for you, brother. And then, so you said what are you looking for at the conference?
I'm going to learn some syndication stuff, I think. So that'll be, when you and Mike are talking on that, want to know how that's going to break down. So if someone were to take their 401k or a Roth or whatever and invest that, and you guys are doubling their return in, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, on a conservative side, what kind of depreciation would they get? Are you offering? I see that some people offer appreciation to people that they syndicate with, right?
The problem is, unless you're a real estate professional, your non-passive loss limits are capped at $25,000, right?
Okay, so that still applies.
That still applies, yeah. So it's still it's all pro rata, But one of the things that some of our wealthy investors do is their wife will go become a real estate professional, right? And by her doing this, she starts to get those losses. And when they file the joint tax returns, those net losses are able to go against their net income. I mean, you got some people that are making 7 figures a year, and they're paying.
Or if they wanted to cash out their 401k, if they want to just cash it out, they're going to pay their 10% penalty on that. But that loss would offset, depending on what it could offset that. So they're still going to reduce their tax liability there and put it into something that they can, and now they're not tied to that 401k anymore.
Yeah, I think there's probably some strategic ways to do that. But what you're going to learn about is the blue sky laws, 506B, 506C, private placement memorandums. Are you familiar with all that?
I've heard 506B and C, but I don't have it memorized, and I couldn't regurgitate anything.
It's how you can legally raise money to do your projects. It's a form that the Securities and Exchange Commission that you have to go through. We also have a private placement memorandum. I think we paid about $35,000 for that. Mike's probably going to go over that with you guys. That's more, I'm trying to get you guys your base. Once you guys get these 30 units, man, you guys are going to be ready to scale because you're going to have the experience. You're going to have the net worth. You're going to have the balance sheet. You're going to know how to manage. Then you can go buy a 100 unit, right? But the reason I tell people not to jump in and try to do a 100 unit, it's not that you can't get it done. There's so much that you have to learn along the way. Now, if you want to go in and you want to put money in on a syndication on a 100 unit, that's another thing. But going out and buying a 100 unit, man,
I agree 100%.
That could bankrupt 100%. You. That could bankrupt you. So,
and what the academy helps me is like, did things, or my partner and I, we're getting ahead or whatever. You can say, okay, you're at 12 units or whatever, but we did a lot of things the wrong way, and now I'm the right way or know the right way, and now I need to remedy a few things, and that's what I'm in the process of doing. I mean, we've got several renovations going now, and just kind of stabilize them and get them to where they need to be, get our cash back out, and then go forward.
Well, that's one of the things that I want you to work on your next project is this. Private investor. If you don't have a private investor, then I want you to work on asset-based lending, right? When you're doing your asset-based lending, I want you to put your budget together. And as you put your budget together, I want you to front load this stuff that's going to be on your first draw. You know why? I want your demo to be 10 grand. You're getting it done for 2, right?
Yes.
I want you to front load it because then you're not the money. I met with my buddy Jeff yesterday and I showed him, I said, this is how you do it. I learned how to do that, not because somebody taught me, but because I'm running out of money and I got to figure this crap out. Also, another thing, when you're borrowing money from a private investor, BRRRR on the front end. Don't wait to BRRRR when the bank gives you the 75 or 80% out. You back into the number. You say, man, I bought this property for $80,000. I got to put $40,000 in it. It's worth $200,000. You don't tell the investor you need $120,000. You tell them you need 75% of the $200,000, which is what?
$150,000, I'm guessing.
Huh? $150,000.
$150,000. Yeah.
So you need $150,000, but you're in it for $120,000, right?
Now, what you put 30 in your pocket tax free.
You put 30 in your pocket, and then when the bank comes and says it's clean, because the bank says, "Where's this money going?" I just want a rate and term refi, man. I'm paying off first position.
80% now.
I'm paying off the first position. They go back to the board. They say, he's not getting any money out. You're like, nope, not a penny. They're like, how much money does he have in the bank? Boom, you got money in the bank because you pulled $30,000 off of it. Plus you had your original capital you started with, right?
Yes.
That's a way, and it's clean because right now, while money has been easy to get, the stuff I'm trying to prepare you guys for is to be able to run through this as we go through a recession and banks start to tighten up. And they say, and I don't want you to come and say, oh man, they won't do this anymore. See, I already knew what they were going to start doing because I've been through a cycle before and I've been through the worst cycle. And so as you start building these processes and systems out, these processes and systems are built to go through that type of economy, through a recession, and for you to still succeed. You're not going to learn the hard way like, man, I can't get my money back out.
Right. Another thing, too, when you're doing those, what I've also picked up is pay attention to the maker schedule, the 15-year items and below, and those are the ones that are going to be bumped up. So when we go to take depreciation on that, it's going to help us considerably on the accelerated portion.
That's saying 100%, a lot. You know, I'm gonna cover that. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100% this year, then 80% next year, and who knows what the future holds, right?
It's supposed to be 60, then 40, then 20.
80, yeah. But by then we should have somebody different in there. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. We can maybe have somebody in there that understands just a little bit of the economics and the way that it works, man. Because, you know, right now, man, you got people in there that think taking money from people who create jobs is, you know, and giving it to government is just not a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. So I get the front load part, and I also get the, you know, take the maker schedule 15-year and below items is the most important. The 27 and a half year or 27-year items is important too. It's going to change our basis, but we're only going to get that divided over the 27 and a half years, not front loaded in year one.
Not just that, but Chris, here's what I need you to understand as a real estate professional. If I mark up the 27 and a half year items, let's say 100,000, I got to take that as income on my construction company. Okay? I can't then transfer that over here and write it off to wipe that gain out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're getting hit hard if you don't. And this is why, you know, when I go through and I show you guys this, I'm very hesitant about it because I know what's going to happen. You're going to have the guy that's not a real estate professional. He's going to do it, and then he's going to get burned on his taxes. Hard. And then they're going to say, well, Nate told me to do it this way. No, I didn't. You didn't listen all the way. So I'm very cautious about.
You are very cautious. You're very cautious about that. If you're not a real estate professional, do not do that. I've heard that 100 times. And that's one thing that I also picked up from you is I am a real estate professional. That's what I am this year, period. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, buts about it. You know, we've got 20 some units. I'm hands-on on a lot of stuff. I'm every single in the study and Zoom calls, you know, everything I do is related to that, whether it's being vertically integrated and things like that. I converted my marketing. I've got DBAs. So now one of the DBAs is a general contracting, which is, you know, aside from the other company, that's a holding company. But so that's just how I'm doing it.
Well, man, Thursday, let me know if you can do that. Okay. Yep. We'll go live into the group again. And I'll just do it off my phone. And I'm really excited about seeing you guys, man. I am like the venue that we got. It's a Delta hotel. You ever been to a Delta?
I have not. We went by it when we were driving. You showed me where it was at.
My buddy actually renovated it. You know, I was on the phone with him today. He's out of Atlanta. He does my hotels. But, yeah, Victor, and, you know, I called him, and Mike's down in Atlanta at a hotel right now. And I called Victor, and I was like, you got to come to the conference, man. And, yeah, he renovated that hotel. It's a nice hotel.
Awesome.
So, brother, let me know if you can do Thursday. Thank you so much for your time. I won't hold you up anymore, man. Tell the kids and wife I said hi. And reach out to me if you need anything.
I think I'm losing power.
Huh?
I think I'm starting to lose power. We got some bad storms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my security backups are blinking.
Oh, really? I see you got your Amazon lights in the background. Are them little Amazon lights you put up?
Yeah, those are 4-inch. Yeah, those are 4s.
Oh,
I like them.
So we get them for $9 off Amazon, right? So Jirius comes in and he says, yeah, my contractor says he doesn't like those ones. And so he pays $30 for them and gets them for Lowe's. And I look at them, they're the same exact ones. So never let your contractor run your project. All right, brother. Well, let me know if we can do Thursday. Thank you so much for jumping in here, man. If you guys are interested, you guys got any questions?
No, there was one.
Okay.
I'm in the process of refinancing 4 small properties. Hopefully we'll have 70,000. Yes. 70,000 to work with. What do you recommend?
What do I recommend? Man, learn the BRRRR process, guys. You learn the BRRRR process. You could turn that 70,000 into over $1 million net worth in a few years. I'm going to say 5 years max, man. Work in the system. And we got a spreadsheet in there that shows you how to do it. It's not just a hypothetical, it's an Excel sheet that'll show you how to do that.
Cool.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks again, brother. And let me know if you can do Thursday. If not, I'll have you on another Monday. And thank you so much for joining in, brother.
Perfect. Thanks. See you soon.
All right, see you later, buddy. Good luck with your power.